Welcome to today's very first episode of Chop It Up, a sports podcast that discusses, daily topics, core sports topics, mostly around football and basketball, NFL, NBA, a little bit of college, and other forms of pop culture. So we're here to discuss what's going on, and it just so happens that today's very first episode is dropping right before Week 7 of NFL football. So I'm gonna go ahead and highlight our game of the week, which is the Lions versus the Ravens. Let me tell y'all, I'm a little biased. I'm from Detroit. I live in DC, but I'm so excited about my Lions this year, man. Usually they take us down Heartbreak Road, Heartbreak Hotel, make us think they're gonna do something, or just flat out sorry. And towards the end of last season, I really started to see that turnaround that we've all been waiting for. I mean, all my life, I've been waiting to see this team be competitive week in and week out. And here we are, Week 7. They're about to go against the Ravens. They're sitting on 5-1. I think the Ravens only got a couple losses. And, Baltimore's tough. We're going to be in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. We're going to try to take everything out the bank that we can, man. The pennies, too. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a tough game for Detroit. This is a good test for them. This is a good road game for them to really see where they're at. We got a lot of key guys back in the lineup, which I'm excited about. We've been a little hurt pretty much all this year. There's always been a few main guys that's been banged up. So happy to see Gibbs back with Montgomery out. Happy to see Brian Branch. I mean, I know he's gonna be tearing it up on defense. His first game back, along with Hutch, man, who's been doing his thing. He looks like a solid defensive player of the year candidate so far. And then Goff, man. Goff has been super consistent. Only a few picks. It was great completion percentage. And I just really feel like we got the right recipe, baby. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm a Lions fan. I think we're going to go in there. We're going to handle business. It's going to be a tough game. But, man, Amon-Ra been getting off. Hutch is tearing everybody up. He looked like the second coming of J.J. Watt. And, man, Ravens going to have their hands full. Because, I mean, they can't really run the ball all that great. Lamar scares me a little, He's always an X factor. But when it's all said and done, man, I got the Lions. Let's go Lions 27, Ravens 16. So that's definitely covering the spread. I think they're 3-point underdogs this weekend. So maybe Vegas knows something I don't. But just going off my eye tests and how these teams are playing right now, I really feel like man, Lions are ready for this one. I'm sure the Ravens are too, but I'll be excited to watch it. Kicks off tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and it's safe to say I'll be tuned in. So moving along, since we're talking football, let's go ahead and just get my NFL top 5 teams at the moment. I'm, obviously this list is, as they say, fluid. It's going to change week in and week out because, injuries happen, teams get better, some teams get worse. And for right now, this is what I think the top 5 teams in the NFL are, and we're going to go ahead and number them. Starting with number 5, I got the Eagles, man. I know all the Philly fans are going to be hating on me, but, hey, it's all good, man. Number 5 out of 32 teams, or however many teams they are, is a pretty good standing. So, Philly's number 5. I mean, a lot of those games that they won, it was a toss-up. They ended up coming out on top, but Jalen Hurts definitely has to, be a little bit more composed and consistent. He's been throwing a lot of picks this year, and it's a make or break league. Turnovers can really change a game, and if you're losing the ball 2-3 times a game, it's going to be hard to keep winning. And Philly's schedule, I believe, is also going to be a little bit tougher down the stretch. So Philly's number 5 for right now. Number 4, all my Bay Area people. This is y'all, man. 49ers, man. Y'all number 4, man. not to say that I think that you guys are better than number 4, but ultimately it comes down to your health. Who's available? CMC's out, Debo's out. Purdy's coming off his first loss. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts. He's a young quarterback. I know he's got what we like to call the it factor. And I mean, you know, I think a lot of teams would be happy with him at the helm. With that said, the injuries do hurt. I mean, obviously they got great play calling in Shanahan, and they got a great defense, and those guys are ready to go. But if I have to rank them, I would put them at number 4 currently. Of course, the list can change next week. So number 3, the Miami Dolphins. Man, have y'all been watching the Dolphins, man? I mean, that's an exciting game to see, man. Whoever they playing, they seem to be putting on a show. Tyreek Hill is an absolute monster, cheat code, Madden speed all the way up past 99. I mean, he's burning corners and then doing backflips with people's cell phones in the end zone. This dude is like, he's really just different. I mean, there's not too many people I've seen get that much separation since, I don't know, maybe Randy Moss. I'm trying to think who else. I think there was a couple times Brandon Cooks was burning people, but he's kind of slowed up a little bit. But in terms of separation, I mean, maybe AB, but that's more like route running and kind of just breaking people down off the routes. But just flat out speed, I mean, that's why they call him the cheetah, man. That dude is cooking dudes, man. So he's dangerous. Tua's playing good. Defense is a little shaky, but when you're scoring 40 points a game, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat them dudes, man. So, yeah, I got Dolphins at number 3. Number 2, dun, 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 the Chiefs. P. Mahomes, the Chiefs, proven track record. I mean, these guys have answered all the questions we've had about them. Andy's calling the plays. P runs them. And the team just seems to make a way. Kelsey's old reliable, and you got a squad of other guys, a tandem of other players that can help contribute to keep these cats on top, man. I mean, AFC wise, they're gonna be hard to beat. I see them getting right back to the championship game, and whether that's against the Bengals, see how the Bengals turn out, and the Dolphins might get there. But when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, man, the Chiefs are going to be, one of them teams left standing. So number 2, in terms of power rankings, if this is what you want to call them. And of course, number 1, the Detroit Lions. The fact that I can say that and not be trolling or joking is crazy in itself. Of course, we beat the Chiefs, and I got them at number 2, so it's only right to put the number 1 team as the only team that have been able to beat them, and it was in Arrowhead. Yes, I know Kelsey was hurt. I know they had other couple players nicked up, but hey, that's a tough game to go into Arrowhead, man, and play and win, and we clawed one out, and we got it done. And right now, the Lions are just playing great football, man. I mean, our squad is gelling. Everything is like the perfect storm. The coaching, the passion, the fans. I mean, have you seen our road games? We taking over half the stadium. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Detroit fans in Baltimore tomorrow. I'll be looking out throughout the crowd on TV to see how many I can count or how many I can see. And we just the best team right now. I mean, who's better? Who's better, man? Quarterback. We got the running backs, the wide receiver core, the defensive players, the O-line, the coaching, the play calling. Ben Johnson is just like in his bag every week. I mean, if anybody else has a better team, I would be, happy to hear the argument. But for right now, this is my list. So we putting Detroit at the top, number 1. All right. Moving along, man. We're going to switch gears a little bit. This guy, and y'all know who I'm about to talk about. Obviously you've seen his name on the screen. Man, Jason Whitlock. I just want to know, man. Were you abused as a child? Were you scared to smile? They called you ugly? Well, life is harsh. Hug me. Don't reject me. Or may podcast and disrespect me. Blatant and indirectly. I mean, I'm going to pray for you, brother. I got to, man. You need it, man. I mean, we all do. We all need prayer. But this guy especially, I mean, he is the epitome of knowing that his only path to relevancy is to literally troll and bring down his own people. You never hear him talk about his boy Brett Favre, who's got all types of, financial scandals, people getting locked up, and he's stealing money from the poor, and he's sitting up there kikiing with him on his podcast and talking back and forth, and the whole time he got Dion in his mouth. I mean, of all dudes you want to talk about, why you gotta talk about Prime, baby? I mean, he been doing this since he was a shorty, baby. I mean, and he's never gonna react to him or respond to him personally. I mean, we hear him call his haters out publicly in his press conferences and what he may send on Twitter, but he's not gonna respond to Jason Whitlock because he's not on his level. Whitlock is one of these guys who he's pretty much scorched all his bridges, all his business relationships with whatever is ESPN or Fox. He's never seen a job there with them again. Now he might not want that. He might be more comfortable doing what he's doing now, seeing that he can really be his true uncensored self, which he was always kind of like one of these hot take guys that like to troll, but now he's going full throttle and he's not holding any punches. Let's listen to a little bit of what he had to say about Dion right here, because this one kind of threw me for a loop. Listen to this real quick.
And I can already the comments. Oh, Whitlock just hates Dion. I don't hate Dion. I really don't. He just needs to be confronted with the truth of what it is he's doing. Leave God out of it, and then accept responsibility for what it is you're doing. You've put your kids in harm's way. Think Dion's gonna play either one of his boys 2 ways, 120 plays a game? Think he's gonna do that?
You didn't build me, so you can't kill me. You know what? God established me, so you ain't nothing you can do to me.
Dion is expressing a feminine, morally bankrupt worldview. And he's passing it off as confidence and a false bravado. He either is so devoid of self-reflection and understanding of the bigger picture, he doesn't know what he's doing, or he knows exactly what he's doing. He's dressing up a harmful worldview, a feminine worldview, a demonic worldview. He's dressing it up and calling it Christianity.
Now you hear what he had to say. I mean, it just gets to the point where it's almost like you can't even really take it that serious. I mean, he's basically questioning a man's masculinity. He's questioning his faith. And if you want to talk about sports critiquing, and if you want to keep it at the game and on the game level, when you're talking about maybe you should have left Travis out there, all those snaps, coming off an injury, his first game back, and he's playing 140 snaps against a Power 5 team in Stanford, getting burnt in the fourth quarter. We all seen him; he was tired. And if you want to talk about things like that, hey, I'm all ears. But when you start attacking a man personally, and then I think the most personal way you can attack somebody is by questioning their faith. I mean, who are you to tell them what they're doing or how they worship is absolutely wrong, or they're being a hypocrite? I mean, that in itself is hypocritical. So just to not give this guy too much airtime, but I just did want to touch on that. I mean, a lot of these people are doing stuff for clicks. And in today's world, we are in the era of attention seeking at its all-time high. So whatever somebody's able to do to stay relevant or to get somebody to click on their video, Some people have no limits, man. I mean, completely soulless, no morals, and just willing to kind of quote unquote sell themselves out for the sake of making a couple dollars or getting a couple people to tune in. So with Whitlock, I mean, I've been hip to his whole game for a minute now. I do think it's interesting to kind of respond to some of the things that he says because they're so outlandish. But ultimately, we'll just keep it moving. So I'm gonna pray for you, brother. Fourth topic, 4 or 5 topics for today. We got the NBA preseason coming up. Well, I mean, it's been on, but it's getting ready to come to an end. The real season is about to start. I don't really pay too much attention to preseason because you got a lot of, your second rotation guys and your bench guys that are trying to fight for minutes when it really matters. So, your starters come in first quarter, maybe a little bit of the second, and then they sit down the rest of the game. So, I'll be tuned in when the games count and paying attention to how these new look teams look and how they play and how they fit together. I think obviously the biggest off-season move was Dame to Milwaukee. And now we got him paired up with Giannis. That's going to be interesting to see. I think it's a great trade, or it's a great pickup for Milwaukee, because them two being on the court together is going to make the game easier for both of them. It's going to be hard to double on Giannis. Obviously, it's going to free up a little bit more space for Lillard to operate on the perimeter. And that's a hell of a 1-2 punch, man. I think that's the best 1-2 punch in the game right now, aside from, maybe Jamal and Jokic, who obviously coming off a chip. So their 1-2 punch works. It knocks people out since they were the only ones left standing at the end of last season. So definitely excited to see the Bucks, excited to see the Suns. I mean, the Suns, I feel like, are loaded every year, and then something happens, and then they just they crumble or whatever. With these super teams that they've been assembling, like when KD was on the Nets and stuff like that, it's hard to keep players healthy. Obviously, the best ability is availability, and so injuries always play a part. But man, if that team stays healthy, you got KD, Book, and Beal. I mean, that's 3 easily number 1 players all on one team. So I mean, there's only one ball. So we'll see how the rock gets distributed. But man, CP3 on the Warriors. I think this is also something that might not look that great on paper, but it's going to translate well on the floor. I mean, you get to let Steph run around. CP can bring the ball up. Obviously, doesn't have to play as many minutes on such a great team. And I think the Jordan Poole thing, him going to Washington, is kind of a good move for both franchises, because Poole was starting to overgrow his role as a bench player or 6-man. And in Washington, he's going to have that freedom to start, and really, I think he's going to be dropping 40 left and right this year. He's a natural scorer, and with the green light he's going to have in DC, he's going to be putting up some points. So I think he'll be top 5 in scoring easy this year. And then the Warriors are going to be the Warriors. I mean, great coaching, great franchise. You got Steph, who's also a cheat code, and so they're always going to be in games. I think also the last team, or the last couple, I guess, teams I'll talk about is the Lakers. There's going to be Hollywood. I mean, it's LA, baby. So the Bron show, we'll see how AD holds up. I mean, he's super fragile, but hopefully he stays healthy. And then also the Pelicans, man. I'm really interested and excited to see what the Pelicans do. They have Zion coming back. Looks like he's been working out crazy this offseason. It looks like he's ready to go. I really hope that dude can stay healthy, because I love watching him play. I love watching the Pelicans play when everybody's out there. You got B.I., you got McCollum, and you got a lot of nice young players, defenders, Alvarado, and a couple other cats that are really good in terms of guarding the ball and getting up and down the floor. And Zion, man, that's a grown man right there. I mean, he was bullying dudes when he came into the league. So to see him come into his man body, even though he's always had one, I mean, he's really like grown man now. So I think he's gonna be pushing dudes around left and right and having his way down low. And you know, with the left-handed finish, it's hard to block, it's hard to time. It's just harder guarding left-handed dudes. So I'm really excited to see how these new teams look. Hope my Pistons can stay healthy. We got Cunningham and those other couple other young guys that we got, Durant and them. So I don't think they're gonna make much noise, but I just hope they play well. And then lastly, man, the 7'4" elephant in the room, man, Wembanyama on the Spurs. I mean, this dude, he don't even look real on the court. It looks like somebody made the player and they're playing with him in 2K, and the graphics are so good that it looks real. Because I mean, he's moving and doing things we've never seen people his height do. So I'm excited to watch it all. In the meantime, I'll stay locked in on NFL. And like I said, we're gonna try to hit a couple topics each day, or maybe only respond to one or something that happens. But I'm really excited to bring this new podcast to you guys. I've been wanting to start this for a minute, and I just wanted to jump out there and get it going. So, you know, I know it's it's week 6, week 7 in NFL, but I think this is the perfect time. We're in the middle of football. Basketball is about to start, and then we always got college and other things that we can rap about. So thanks for listening. We're gonna end with today's random fact, and today's random fact is: did you know humans cannot walk in a straight line without looking at something? And I mean, it sounds like a duh, we can't, but you would think you'd be able to take, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 steps without varying off the line of path. And this is really something that I actually tried before knowing this fact. I look up these facts just to end something, end the show on a light note. But I was walking through my apartment building the other night, and I was a few steps from my door, and I just thought to myself, hey, what if I was blind? What if I had to get in the house and I couldn't see? So I closed my eyes and I started to walk. And let me tell you, man, I took maybe one step before I had to open them, because I felt like I was already going sideways or just, about to hit the wall or something. And I was like, man, when you really think about it, it's tough, man. You can't walk in a straight line without looking, baby. It's like being underwater and not knowing which way is up. I mean, when you take the light away to your sense of direction, it's really hard to navigate. So do not take your eyesight for granted. I know I won't do for mine. And thank y'all for listening. And we'll be back tomorrow with tomorrow's episode of Chop It Up. So go ahead and subscribe and tune in, baby. Love y'all. Peace.